Well, here we go. This is going to be more of an exploration of why. This is part of an explanation. I'll put it that way. Part of the explanation for why I believe balkanization is the future of the United States. Because of these cultures that have been created within states. Some artificial, some legit. You know, um, I think that I've tried to, differentiate and say U.S. state chauvinism because I think it's very important. There's this whole, well, California is such a great state. It's the fifth largest economy in the world, uh, and it's so easy because ultimately most of what I would say has been said over and over about Hollywood or high taxes or immigration, or which, like I say, they've all been mentioned before. I'm beating a dead horse if I continue on. But you could say the same thing between different parts of states as well. Like I say, Texas is not one whole thing. Can we admit that? I think that there is, kind of where I live and going into the panhandle versus Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, Houston versus El Paso and that area, West Texas. These are all vastly different areas that see things differently, at least in my opinion. In my opinion. To me, when you have more of a rural area and a little bit less population density in general, you're going to have more conservatism, in general. Whereas, in the big cities and whatnot, at least the idea of progressivism is taught. Dallas, Fort Worth, and whatnot. Do I think there's actual conservatism there? Of course. And do I think there's more radical beliefs that go left wing or right wing? Yeah, absolutely. But I don't have any research on that, so I'm going to slow my roll. But I think that this state chauvinism, I don't know why I keep saying state socialism. The U.S. is a state socialism. It's like state capitalism. People always say about the Soviet Union. Anyway, I think that this chauvinism between states is very cringe, and it just goes to show how broken this system is. Like, well, my state does better than your state. Ugh. This is the whole blue states fund everything and the red states don't pay anything. That whole argument. And I've said this before and I'll say it again, is that creates a sort of put upon sort of attitude where it's just like, oh, only our state does great. Your state is just boo-boo. Your state is just poo-poo. So that's why I believe the idea of balkanization. Because it's just, there are larger issues at hand. Yeah, there's kind of a common idea, I think, in general. But I think that the U.S. is divided on so many intersections. I hate to continue to use that word. But it's just nonsense to me. And I don't think that the United States has ever been united on anything completely. There were plenty of isolationists, and I know a lot of them will say, well, they're the real Nazis, the Charles Lindberghs, protesting the Second World War by us getting involved, or the Father Coughlins, or the whoever else, the Lolbertarians who didn't like the Iraq War, or the conscientious objectors in the military that decided to stay out of the first Iraq War in 1991. That's why I always say the United States has never been united. And the United States itself is not rich. I always get this idea, oh, well, the United States is rich. Nah. Number one, it's who has the money, number one. And number two, how that money is used. Like I say, they'll build a brand new highway, but it may go to pot in the next, 10 or 15 years, right? Because they don't fix it. They don't care. Unless it's a really popular, and busy road or a highway, then they won't give a shit about it. You can take a look at, these universities that are getting all this money. And they'll fix a parking lot here and there, or they'll fix it more specifically for people that stay in housing, in the dorms. But you see, for the folks that, for the regular folks, you see those parking lots, got plenty of holes, plenty of potholes and everything else. But, right? So, it's just, I challenge the idea that, the United States is the richest nation in the world. I just don't believe that. But anyway, I think that there's a lot to discern from that. But I'm sure people are just going to cope. But anyway, I think that this state chauvinism sort of idea doesn't help anything, Everybody from Texas is just a Nazi or a redneck, or they're or they're a Mexican or something like, I mean, I'm sure there are people that actually think all three of those things simultaneously. I don't know. But you have, I'm doing a crap job. I'm sorry. I'm thinking. I'm drowning. But the thing is that this hatred between the states has always existed to some degree. And it comes down to the leadership, but it also comes down to just regional flavors. It's like, you go to Boston, you're going to have clam chowder, right? You're going to have the chowder. I can't do a good Boston accent. I'm sorry. I can't do a good Boston accent. I'm sorry. Got to get into the car, yeah. I can't do a good Boston accent. I'm sorry, Yeah. Yeah, we will go to the moon and and I will have sex with West German agents. JFK. But anyway, it's the same thing with, you think of Louisiana, right? You got to pronounce it right. Louisiana, Mississippi. Yeah, Louisiana. You're gonna have your gumbo and your crawdad, or maybe you'll eat some gator. You'll eat some alligator. At least according to shows like what is it, that Gator Hunter or whatever on History Channel. I don't watch that shit anymore. I'm just saying, they always got those poor guys. They've had that show for so damn long. It's like, hey, you want to make a new show? It's like, hey, you want a new show? Here you go. Ooh, there. Let's go down there and get us some gators there. Yeah, let's go down there and get us some gators. Oh yeah, have me some gator stew or something. I don't know. I mean, I guess you can cook up gator like steak. I don't know. See, look. I have no idea because I'm so far inland, it's not really a thing to me. But it's like, it's the same thing with like the West Coast. The West Coast, of course, is all, hip and everything else. We're going to use, barbecue sauce as pizza sauce and all that sort of thing. California pizza, now, of course, it's a big thing that they sell across the country. But, that's kind of the idea of it. A lot of it comes from food, like I say, because we're all fat losers here in the U.S., but some of it comes from political ideas where it's just like, well, actually, our state was one of the first ones to allow women's suffrage, or whatever, or we're one of the first areas to do this, while the dumb rednecks down south who dress like cowboys, and it doesn't really help the situation, does it? But yeah, I don't know if that helped. I'm going on for 9 minutes just rambling about nothing, but yeah, the state chauvinism, this idea of my state is better than your state, does not help anything. And if you want to actually create some sort of real socialism, those issues have to be addressed at some level. Just the same thing if we want to be all intersectional and everything else, just as race, just as gender and all these other feijoa that folks talk about. You have to mention that too eventually. But I know a lot of shit's going to be swept under the rug, as we know. But yeah, anyway, hopefully I'll enjoy that. I'm going to send this one out tomorrow on the 16th. And hopefully I will stream that PBS documentary that they made. I tried to cover it up and I changed the audio a little bit. I was going to have it like a chipmunk where they're real high, but I said, nah, it's kind of cringe. So I decided to bring it back down low, and it's back somewhat to normal. So hopefully we'll listen to it. The audio's not going to be great, but we'll make it work. Anyway, hopefully y'all enjoy that. Stick around tomorrow for that stream, and see you later. Bye-bye.